This podcast was produced on the lands of the Cubby Cubby people. We pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and thank them for how they have lovingly cared for and preserved the land, natural resources, and bush medicine in which we are inspired by today. Hello and welcome to the Students of Natural Health podcast. My name is Dana Laura. I'm a student naturopath from Australia, and I'm going to be your host for this episode. Now, joining me today, we have Janae. She is a student naturopath also. Welcome to the podcast. How are you going?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing so well. How are you going?
Really well. Glad to finally be able to chat to you. Janae, that's such a beautiful name. Where did that come from?
Well, I was actually born in South Africa, but my family is French Mauritian, so definitely why it sounds very French. But I was born in South Africa, so I'm a little bit, I like to say, licorice all sorts from all places.
I love that. That's so cool. Now, obviously, today we're going to be chatting all things the student experience, what it's like being a
Yeah.
student naturopath. I'm going to jump straight into it with the
Mm.
my favorite question. What is your
Mhm.
origin story? Why did you pick naturopathy?
I think this one begins like most other naturopaths. I had a really scary health experience, which led me to having basically nothing back to fall onto. I felt I was on so many medications. I felt like I was losing myself. And then my dad one day came to me. He's like, I don't even recognize you. He's like, I don't know who you are. I don't like, like my daughter, she's so sick, she's gone. We need to find something else. And I had seen naturopaths before. But what I'd gone through, I really did need medical intervention. So I was nervous going off medication, but I was really losing myself and who I was. And so we went and saw a naturopath, and that day on, my whole life changed. She just completely changed my whole life. And I was like, I want to do that for people. If only I could be that person, the way she held space for me, the way she nurtured me and really understood me. I want to be that person. And from there on, yeah, I've never looked back.
Wow. I feel really emotional listening to you talk about that. Like the
Oh.
the way that it can change your life and the fact that you took something really difficult and turned it into something beautiful and
Yeah.
positive. That's
Yeah.
really amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I lost all that I knew previously. So I was a professional dancer for so long. And then I got told one day, hey, you can't do that anymore. You physically can't. And I was like, it's one thing grappling with losing a profession or losing a career, but when you had tied yourself so much to that, your identity, I was like, what am I going to do? And, not being well with it. Naturopathy really gave me something to focus on and something to, yeah, I guess put my attention into. And herbs are just so beautiful, and really learning about yourself is the best thing of this degree, I think.
Totally. I don't want to hijack your episode, but I'm drawing so many parallels. Like for me personally,
Mm.
I went through my own health crisis.
Yeah,
I was in a wheelchair for a bit
yeah,
there, and I'd
yeah,
tied so much of my identity up with I wanted to be a midwife. And
yeah.
it came to a point where I had to choose, are you going to try and pursue this midwifery and
Mm.
push against it when you physically can't do it, and
Mm.
be a sick, sad, less than version of yourself, or
Mm.
try something new. And it's really hard having that conversation and letting go when you do
Oh,
create it becomes a part of who you are and your identity.
yeah, 100%. Totally. I mean, yeah, there was, okay, I'm going to say there were a few months where I just laid in bed like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I was like, who am I? My whole life was dancing. But I think that was really needed to, learn that you can't be tied to a profession. Even with naturopathy, I can't tie that to my identity.
Yeah,
I'm Janae with so many different facets. It's not just naturopathy. So it was a beautiful life lesson and a beautiful healing lesson. So yeah, that's my journey.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So what did that process look like for you of realizing you needed to change your life path and
Mm.
then enrolling and starting naturopathy? Like, was there much space in between that? Did you have to go back and forth and have a lot of conversations with yourself?
Yeah, well, I think it was a little bit more of, yes, it was like, okay, I really want to do naturopathy, but it was also of the person I saw, there was a lot on diet and what I could change and what I could influence because of my diet. And then I got so inspired in the kitchen. I'd never been in a kitchen prior to this, which is crazy because I'm now a recipe developer,
Yeah.
and then I got in the kitchen and I started making healthy recipes and was like, oh, I actually enjoy eating healthy and making recipes with healthy food. And then it was like, this is just one facet to naturopathy. And I was like, how epic is that? So it took me a little while, a little bit of research, but this was also during COVID. So like people weren't doing much. And I was like, I have nothing else really to do. Can't dance, can't do anything else. What's the worst thing that could happen is I drop out. So I just started, I guess, yeah, maybe a couple months after in 2021. Yeah.
A few things to unpack there. So where are you currently at in your degree?
I will be graduated by the end of, I believe it's May next year. So I've got like a year left in my
That's so
fourth year.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So clinic soon.
And so have you had a bit of time in clinic already?
No, I haven't gone into clinic yet. I've decided that I'm going to do all four clinic blocks, one after the other. Don't know if you can call me crazy, probably,
I
but
love it.
I'm going to give it my all. Because I took my first 2 years pretty breezy. I did my Pilates certification course in my first year of studying naturopathy as well. So I took those years pretty breezy. And then maybe like a year and a half ago, I was like, nah, let's go full time. So I still got a year left.
Yeah. And sorry, so you were studying your Pilates certification at the same time as doing your naturopathy.
Yeah, yeah, in 2021. I did part-time naturopathy and full-time Pilates. Yeah.
Wow. You're listening to Students of Natural Health podcast. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you study, you're still behind and also feeling majorly stressed out? Maybe you're drowning in your notes, feeling overwhelmed by the mountain of content being thrown your way, and even second guessing if you'll be able to finish your degree. Hi, I'm Olivia, a naturopath and ultra organized type A overachiever. My passion is helping students like you succeed in your studies without the stress. You were probably never taught how to actually study, and that's why I created Study for Success, a space to help students understand the strategy behind studying efficiently and successfully. In my space, you learn how to simplify the study process, actually retain what you learn, and most of all save time with my unique organizational framework. So if you want to learn how to study smarter, not harder, reduce stress, and set yourself up for success from first year right through to being a new grad, check out my free Study for Success masterclass. Plus, I have a range of practical study resources designed specifically for NatMed students available on my website. Check out the links in the description below, and here's to studying for success without the stress.
Thanks for listening. On with the show. How long did your Pilates take you to do as well?
That one, because I did a clinical Pilates course, so with pelvic floor physio, sorry, and some other physio and clinical things. It took me, I think, 18 months all up.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And which institute are you studying naturopathy through?
I'm studying with Endeavour College of Natural Health.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're quite flexible with how you can stagger your subjects
Yes.
and, you know,
Yeah.
have you been working at the same time as well, or have you just been studying as much as you can over the last since 2021?
I have been working and studying as much as I possibly can. So I went full time, I think proper full time, like 100% load, start of last year.
Wow, you're a
Yeah.
powerhouse.
Lots of naps and rest in between so I can stay afloat, that's for sure. It's a tricky degree to get through, but it has been a great decision because I want to get out there and start practicing.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel your enthusiasm oozing through the screen.
I'm glad.
So then you've attempted quite a lot of subjects then. What has been one of your favorites that you've done so far?
I'm a little bit of a chemistry nerd, which is crazy because I only did three subjects in year 12 because of dance. But I loved chemistry getting into this degree. So phytochemistry, herbal medicine, phytochemistry, I really enjoyed. Like,
Yeah.
tell me about why these constituents create this effect, So interesting. So
Yeah.
interesting. So that one and obviously materia medicas herbs just hold a special place in my heart, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found, so you're a recipe developer as well. Have you found yourself
Yeah.
integrating a lot of your herbs into your recipes as well yet?
Yes. Yeah, most definitely. I love cooking with herbs. I actually came out with an ebook last year that was all about integrating food recipes with herbal medicine. So always hold, a deep place in my heart cooking with herbs. I think it's so profound. You can use ginger therapeutically in recipes. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. I'll make sure I link that in the description as well for
Oh,
people to
thank you.
jump
That's
in
very sweet.
and check out. But yeah, I'm still in my first year and I'm just like,
Oh, amazing.
I'm on the edge of discovering those, and it's so
Yeah,
interesting that they've always been there. The herbs have always been there and the plants have always been
always
there.
been there.
But
It's incredible.
there's so many different uses, and even to the degree of like the leaf is different to the root, which is different to the
Oh, yeah.
flower head. Like just
Right?
incredible.
Do you find you look at plants differently now?
My whole life is different.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've been unplugged out of this grid and I've been plugged
Yeah.
in over here, and I see
Yeah.
everything so differently. And just yeah, how you integrate and interact with your world, it's so health and your environment, it's so dynamic.
It
um
is 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
it's philosophy as well. It's not just chemistry, it's
Oh,
not just
yeah.
science.
That's it, isn't it? So many for philosophy subjects within the naturopathy degree. I feel like through the degree, and you probably feel it like you said yourself, is you find out so much about yourself as you do the degree in all the health sciences, because you can't really practice herbal medicine without having that profound, deep awareness of how you would be practicing with the herbs. Yeah, and each herb has its own personality, I think,
It does.
like
And
they're
even
also,
to the degree as well where you can like look at the plant and the
yeah.
physical characteristics can sometimes give you clues as to what it can be used for medicinally. Like that's wild, absolutely
I know.
wild.
I know. I have a passion fruit plant downstairs, and every time I walk past, I always look for the passion flowers. And I'm like, you guys are so intricate, so strange looking, yet you have such a profound calming effect on my nervous system. But you look so like different, They look like they're from out of space, but it's so interesting.
Yeah. Do you have much space in your life to talk about the philosophy of naturopathy, or do you get a lot of like, you're a hippie, go sit, go take a shower?
Wow, plants. I think maybe not too much. I've got a few philosophical people around me, but like with my uni friends, yeah, of course, we can talk about these sort of things. My dad's quite philosophical. I feel like I can branch off to any conversation with him. He's like, yeah, plants. I'm like, yeah, love it. So I'm glad I do have a few people because I just love talking about it. One of my favorite people to follow who is so profound in that regard is Erin Lovell Verinder.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say her name.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, honestly. I'm definitely thinking about doing her course next year, but the way she speaks about plants and the way she's so, yeah, just so integrative with herbal medicine specifically, it's incredible.
Yeah, you guys seem very aligned. And you seem to be a bit less like a brown bottle herbalist, and you want to be more grassroots,
Yeah,
tangible, real plant kind of stuff, if that makes sense.
no, it does, definitely. I'm glad that you got that.
So that crazy time of
Mm,
studying two courses, also
mm,
working, there
mm.
must have been periods where you had low motivation and burnout. How did you
Yeah.
overcome those?
I always like to say to myself, a day of rest is better spent than a day of procrastinating doing an assignment. And I will always stand by that because when you're burnt out, you want to sit down and try and do an assignment. But I find for myself personally, I just procrastinate. And
Yeah, it's
so
not
the one
productive.
thing, yeah, it's not productive when you're burnt out. So I always say, best thing that's worked for me is just take a day off, step back, just rest, just rest. In terms of motivation, that kind of went out the window, I think, in my second year. So discipline really clicked in there. But I think just knowing the end game, like knowing what I want to do and who I want to help and, the end as well. But I guess it's hard because it's like you want to enjoy the journey and all these things. But yeah, just remembering why you're doing it really helps with that. Okay, I will do this assignment. Yes, I have to do it to get to that point. So yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to just be a student and be in the now when you have a clear vision for what you want and you just want to
Yeah.
be there and you want to help people and you've got so much passion and so much to
Mhm.
talk about, but
Mm.
you're confined to the limitations of still learning and giving yourself the space to expand in that way you need to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally.
What have been some of the most difficult circumstances you've had to overcome during your studies?
I don't know. Like I said, you learn so much about yourself within this degree. And so with it has come, I guess, some triggers
Yeah.
internally. Like with clinical examination, for example, my health history, it had a lot to do with like my heart rate and it had a lot to do with like my lungs and all these things. And then we were there taking blood pressure and heart rate things. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. Like I get nervous about that because I know that mine's abnormal. And
Yeah.
it's like, actually, that's probably what my patient's going to be like as well, is, a little bit nervous about this. So I guess just it makes you take a step back and look at your own life and see the gaps in your own life. And that's been the most difficult things, is also not being so perfect in that regard. Like
Yeah.
being like, I know I can do all these things and I need to eat this and I need to have that and I need to do this to be healthy, like I will be telling my clients. And I am a bit of a perfectionist, but it's also saying you're going to have to show them that it's not about being perfect. It's about trying your best towards the pursuit of health.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, it was trying not to overload, because I can see that some people almost that orthorexic way of having to eat healthy, having to do this, having to do that, especially coming from a dancing background where it was very much like that. It was difficult not to slip back into those sort of patterns.
I think that's so beautifully put and also very integral to naturopathy itself in the sense that we aren't your doctor.
Mm,
We're not better than you. We're not in a position of power over you. We are to work together and collaborate together. We're meeting each other on the same plane. And I think sometimes
mm,
when we do elevate ourselves to these places of authority or perfectionism, that's when
mm.
it starts to turn into that a little bit of a power struggle and a little bit of an unhealthy dynamic, if that makes sense. Like it's
Uh,
really about meeting people where they're at and
yeah,
you
totally.
you showing up authentically. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really love that you spoke about that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like if you show up authentically as yourself as a practitioner, then your clients will mirror that to you. If you show
Yeah,
up as a perfect person, they're probably going to lie to you about their diet.
totally.
Yeah, I feel like if you say, "Oh, I ate my chocolate last night and it wasn't 70% dark, it was Cadbury," they'll feel more relaxed to say, "Oh, me
Yeah,
too."
yeah. You're all going to get the best results if everybody's honest and authentic with each other.
100%. Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite resources that you've stumbled across in your degree so far?
I think, can I say my fellow naturopaths?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
learned,
Common
I
answer.
learned so much. Yeah. I learned so much from everyone that I'm studying with. I mean, everyone's so incredible and we all take different little pieces, other things resonate to other people than they would to myself. And I see their posts and I'm like, wow, gee, you're smart. And I'm like, I learned the same thing, but you took that on a whole nother level and I'm learning so much from you. And yeah, I find my peers really inspiring in that regard. And I use them as resources. Like I message some of them and I say, hey, what are your thoughts about this? Or how would you explain this? Or what do you think about that? Also, Paris, I think you've had her on the
I have had her
podcast.
on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yes, Paris
I
from
love her
Studious Naturopath.
resources. Yeah, her resources are epic. We actually spoke about them in our lecture. Like, she's got epic resources, things that I wish when I started my degree, I wish I had those sort of things. And then also, I do have an app that I love. It's called Forest, if I am being a little procrastinating girl. Um,
Is this the one where you plant the tree?
Yes. Yeah, and I can't stand to see the tree wither away when I say cancel or if I try to go on Instagram. So it makes me stay studying, which is nice because it sets those boundaries. It sets I'm studying, I have to do this. So yeah.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. How do you set your boundaries around study? Like, full time, you have to manage your time very, very well.
Very, very well. I plan my week or 2 weeks in advance because obviously I am Pilates instructing, I am recipe developing for clients, I have a little naturopathic assistant role as well, and I'm trying to live life on top of that. It's a lot to try and juggle, but I find planning and seeing it from a bird's eye view really helps with that overwhelm. And it also helps, I share my calendar with my partner as well. It's like, hey, I'm studying here. Like, I have to study. Otherwise, I will be more stressed if we try to not do that. So, yeah, it's also being aware of telling people, like, hey, that's my study time. Being strong enough to say that, I think, is important because it's something that's important to me and it would be important to other students. So, to tell people that it makes sense. I know it's tricky sometimes, but it's needed.
Beautiful advice. I needed to hear it. So,
Oh, that's sweet. I'm glad.
have you got a niche that you currently have your eye on and a place that you want to go when you finish your degree? Are you ready to share that yet?
Yeah, it's tricky because I hear people say don't niche down just too quick, or try to get your grasp on all areas first and then you can see. But I definitely have a soft spot for women's health, hormones. Having had a complication with the OCP myself, I find that yeah, I definitely have that soft spot for it. And having imbalanced hormones and dealing with years of acne myself, I definitely want to help women with that. But also I have a love for the nervous system. I think so many issues can stem from the nervous system.
Bit
Um,
underrated, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is. Definitely is. I look at my life when I feel like I'm in balance and I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful and it seems like it's balanced and it's going so well. And then when I look at it when I'm stressed and when I'm overwhelmed, it's just such a difference. Yeah, I feel like the nervous system really is a place I want to tackle with people because I feel like they sometimes feel they can't get the support with naturopathy when it comes to their stress, but there's so many different things we can do to help the nervous system and help stress resilience.
Do you think that's just because it's the emotional plane and yeah, the nervous system? It's sort of pushed into the realm of psychology and it's like just talk about it. There's nothing tangible that you can do, whereas naturopathy we can actually approach it through a very different lens.
Yeah, through a different lens, potentially. Something I'm learning now within my clinical herbal medicine subject is that we can't use a treatment aim of stop stressing. We have to use a treatment aim of stress resilience. Like we can build resilience to stress. And everyone thinks you can only use the psychological tools in our tool belt, but we can also lean on our beautiful herbs, our adaptogens. We can lean on some other things that don't seem so tangible.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
sometimes things as well, like shaping your environment or putting
Yeah.
up boundaries or
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
it's
So
got to
many
be.
different things. So many things. Yeah.
So, do you have a plan for when you graduate?
I think I do, kind of. I definitely want to go into my own practice. I want to see women as soon as I can, potentially just online practice. I am an assistant, well, kind of an assistant to a naturopath now at the moment. And I really look up to her and I love everything that she does and seeing the way she practices really makes me want to practice the same way that she does. So yeah, and I've only ever seen naturopaths online. How crazy is that?
That's pretty
So
progressive.
isn't it? It is pretty progressive of me. Yeah. Yeah, I love the thought of an online clinic because we are in a busy environment. We are in a busy, stressed, way of life. It's nice to sit down, just have the laptop, chat to someone.
Totally. And you can go anywhere with it as well. As a
Hmm.
practitioner, you can work from
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, although I do love face to face because I am a Pilates instructor. So I do love seeing humans and sitting down, having a chat. I think there is something really beautiful about seeing clients face to face as well. So, like I said, I kind of have a plan. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to trust
Yeah.
that what happens will
That's the
happen.
word of the year, just trust.
It is. It is. I actually said I wanted to get it tattooed on myself because I was like, you need to trust more.
Do it. So, are you planning on integrating your Pilates and your recipe development in with your
Yeah.
naturopathy as well? Because they're beautiful complementary fields that you've got there.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I'm not too sure how it will happen now. I think the way I've done it so far with having my ebooks and things as resources has been a beautiful way to integrate it. I mean, the big goal in the future is to maybe have a cookbook with it as well. That's a big dream. Even come out with, I don't know, like baking mixes with herbs in them. Like that would be epic. Like I want to definitely still be in the kitchen. I think that's something that really brings a lot of joy and a lot of passion.
I'm a little bit curious about the ebook in terms of like, one, how did you find time to write that amongst all of your studies? And two, I was just wondering, did you ever experience feelings of like imposter syndrome or like, I don't feel ready to be releasing an ebook
Mhm.
yet?
Yeah, yeah. How I found time, not really sure. Really don't know. Um, I think I was just so passionate about it that I wanted to make it happen. It was kind of like instead of reading my book like I usually do at night, it was writing the pages of the ebook. And imposter syndrome, 100%. I think anything you put value on yourself and something that means to you, of course, there's going to be doubt. It actually has taken a couple years for me to write it. I think it was like an idea maybe 3 years ago, and only this year have I actually decided to do it. So yeah, most definitely.
Beautiful. How long did that process take you from writing the first word to publishing it?
Oh, first word I probably wrote, yeah, like a year and a half ago. And then to actually do it and finish everything, because I had to take photos. And again, I am a perfectionist. So it was recipes, it was photos, making sure the recipes work, everything. It took quite a while. And my mum, bless her, she was practicing like all of the recipes for me.
That's beautiful. Thanks, mum.
Yeah.
Shout out to mum.
Thanks, mum.
It has been just the most enjoyable and joyful conversation with you today. Thank you so much for bringing your honesty and your wisdom to the podcast. I've really,
Well,
really
thank
enjoyed talking with
you.
you.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. It's been beautiful to have a chat with you. It's nice to just chat with a student. I feel like we go through so many of the same things, and it's beautiful that you have this platform because I feel like if I knew you had this, or if you had this when I was first starting, that just, all these conversations that I thought I had to have by myself. It's so beautiful that you're doing it and sharing it with the community. So, yeah, I really love what you've done.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Now,
Yeah,
if
of course.
our audience really resonates with you and they want to find out more about you, where can they connect with you?
So my Instagram is at Janae Chesser. That's spelled Gene. No, it looks like Jean. I get it all the time. And then I also have a website, janaechesser.com, and you can find my ebooks, you can find the recipe work I do with clients. And yeah, that's me.
I'll make sure to link all of those down in the description for you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it if you've made it this far. If you like the interview and you like what I do, please rate and follow the podcast on your chosen listening provider, as it not only notifies you of new episodes, but it also helps with my visibility on the platforms. If you're interested in being featured on the podcast, I've streamlined the process by creating a contact form on my website where you can say hi and let me know that you're interested. All of my social media accounts are linked there as well on my website. As always, I'll link everything in the description that was spoken about on today's episode. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.